The only way a people can retain their freedom, the only way they can retain their liberty, is if they only consent to a limited form of government. A form of government where those in power have only a little bit of power and there are restrictions on what they can and cannot do. That was the idea behind the Constitution of the United States of America. It checks the power of those in power. And under no circumstances, does not matter what you want, does not matter how much you hate the other political party, should you consent to giving the government more power. Because if you do, it's always going to be for sale. Power is always for sale. Even in the moment where it isn't, those with money are going to approach it and try to convince it to be for sale, and they are always successful. Always successful. Who are at the fundraisers for the politicians? You think it's Joe Schmo that works at Walmart? No, he's not paying 25 grand per plate. It's people with money. Money is always close to power. If you look at it historically, for example, in Europe, usurers were extremely close to power every single time. That's how they were successful. That is how they ruled the land. Usurers ruled the land. You look at England, for example. Usurers came there. They indebted the crown so much so that what did the crown do? It made them tax collectors. Tax collectors have real power. Go and tell IRS that you're not going to pay your taxes. And Jefferson said that forcing a people to provide funds for ideas they abhorred is tyranny. So when tax collectors can make you pay, usurers can make you pay for ideas that you don't agree with, whether it's wars or abortion or something, you're already oppressed. When usurers or those with money get that kind of power, then you're oppressed. Or if you look at during the Black Plague, right? Usurers were plantation overseers. They were called estate managers. What that means is they ruled serfs, people who were subsistence farmers, and they ruled their everyday life because they were usurers and they loaned money to these feudal lords who then just gave them this rule. And this is going to repeat itself in different forms throughout history unless people wake up. And here in the United States of America, we have some sort of protection for that, but we have to protect the protection. We have to protect the Constitution of the United States of America. And George Washington warned us that if we get into this political party nonsense and try to give more power to people in order to get what we think is in our interest right now, in the now, by giving these people more power, what we are doing is we are relinquishing our liberty, or relinquishing our freedom. Go read his farewell address and look at the part about political parties, and you'll see what I'm talking about. This is why it's so important to realize that power is always for sale, and usurers, people with money, not just usurers, but people with money, the gambling magnates, the Hollywood magnates, the entertainment people who are generally always corrupt, are always going to be close to power if you allow that power to be concentrated in a few hands. And that is obvious. That is absolutely obvious. And the other thing I wanted to say is that John Adams said that our Constitution is only made for moral and religious people. It is inadequate for the governance of any other, and there's a reason for that. If people are immoral, then they're going to seek protection from each other by giving power to an individual or a group of people, which in turn is going to be bought, and you are going to be oppressed no matter what. People have to be religious as well to be moral. Yeah, I understand there's many claims and so on, but listen, God forbade usury. People have to oppose usury. God forbade fornication. People have to resist fornication, right? You got to resist the pornographers. You got to resist all these people. All these people who have money have made it in a way. Alcohol sales, drug sales, that's the same thing. Pharmaceutical industry sold you drugs, told you it was medicine. They're still doing it to this day. The entertainers, they are pushing forth the kinds of lifestyles that destroy young people, right? Glorifying drugs and fornication and all those things, which we all know is destructive. And then they sell us these solutions. Just give us some more power and we're going to, quote unquote, stop abortion, or give us more power and we're going to free the oppressed people who want to just go around and committing all kinds of these sexual deviancies, right? Whichever side of the political aisle you look at, this is how it is. That's not morality. Morality is respecting other people's sons and daughters, so you marry them and you don't take advantage of them. Staying away from drugs and not destroying your society by becoming an addict, not destroying yourself, your family, and so on. Respecting your parents, right? The entertainment industry wants you to turn away from your parents to just disrespect them, and these are the only people that love you. Once you become a parent, you realize it is your parents are the only people that love you. Some people may love you in a certain way, but those people can start to hate you. Your parents generally are never going to hate you in any kind of way. They may disagree with you, but they won't hate you. So God tells you, honor your parents, right? God gives us all these good advices, which are, in fact, morality. Tell the truth, right? Stand for justice, defend the oppressed. While the warmongers, you look at history, and when power is concentrated, the companies, like the British India Company or oil companies that took us to Iraq, or any of these multinational companies, the companies that sell war, like Halliburton, which Dick Cheney was a member of the board, they are the ones destroying us to make money. They're the ones who pay for those in power to take us to war over their economic interests, and then your sons and daughters pay. Read Major General Smedley Butler's War is a Racket. He told you about that even after World War I. All of these things are very important, but ultimately, you cannot allow power to be concentrated. No matter what you feel right now, no matter what you want right now, you cannot allow power to be concentrated. So you have to protect the Constitution. And number two, if you want to get rid the world of evil, rid the world of your own evil by obeying God. So if you call yourself a Christian, live out that life. If you call yourself a Muslim, live out that life. Don't lie, don't cheat, don't steal, don't fornicate. Stay away from usury, right? Because ultimately, that's where the real power is. These people have infinite amount of money. They own the drug companies. They own the pornographers. They own all of these people that are destroying our society. And they want power to be concentrated so they can buy it. Easy as that. That's what they did in history, and that's what they do now. Peace be with you.